We're standing here in Baton Rouge at Delta Women's Clinic, where I chose to have an abortion many years ago. And as the sign says, "Let the little children come to me. God is pro-life." And I knew that God was pro-life, and I believed in life, but I felt like that was my only option to an unplanned pregnancy. So I'm going to ask you to join me as I go to the door where I entered to have my abortion many years ago. So this is the door where I walked into many years ago to have my abortion at Delta Women's Clinic in Baton Rouge. And we can't go in right now because it's been closed. Praise to God that the abortions that were performed in here, including my own, are no longer continuing here because of some people who stood up for the unborn and for the justice. However, at that time, I chose to walk in those doors. Well, I went in there earlier, and can just take you through, in my mind, the memory of sitting in the waiting room, going into a counseling room to be reassured I was doing the right thing, and then into the small abortion room where they perform the abortion. The utensils are all still there. The suction machine is there. We heard it earlier. And then the recovery room where they would put us to sit after the abortion. And I realized that many who are watching this video, especially from Louisiana, were here at this same place, at this same door, many hundreds of women years ago, and went through the pain and the traumatic experience of abortion, not realizing before they walked into that door what they were walking into. So I'm going to go pretend that I'm walking through, and I'm going to come out of the other door. So after the abortion, after I waited a little while to rest, I was able to walk out of this door. And at that point, my life was not the same for many, many years. I felt the pain, the heartache, the loss, had nightmares. My life just took a spiral downward for years. Drugs, alcohol, sexual promiscuity, didn't care about myself, didn't feel worthy. And God is so awesome. As my necklace shows on here, He is love, joy, and my favorite one is He is hope. He gives us hope, and He takes our broken heart and He turns it into something precious like His Son Jesus. Yes, He mourns for our babies that were aborted. My son I named Joshua David, and I know that I'll see him again in heaven, but it does not take away my day of being here at Delta Women's Clinic in Baton Rouge years ago. And again, I thank God for the prayers of the people who have been a part of having this place shut down. It's now a museum, a memorial to the unborn. So God can get all the glory for something being so terrible turned into something beautiful. It's a horrible, horrific thing. Abortion is a horrible, traumatic experience for anyone, and it grieves God. But He wants to know that He still loves us, even though I chose abortion and I regret it with all of my heart. He knows that. He's forgiven me. He's healed me. He set me free. And there is no other way that I could stand here right now at this place where I remember how I walked out crying, bleeding, how I felt that moment. And there's no way I could stand here again without being healed. And God wants to heal you. I pray that you will let Him heal you. Now we're in Lafayette. We came from Delta Women's Clinic, which is now closed, the one that I had my abortion. And I would like to welcome you to the Office of Tears to Treasures, which is an office that our ministry that educates people about abortion, the risk, the consequences, the truth about abortion, and healing after abortion. So I'll show you around. You can come in here, and this is where we are able to meet with clients and just talk to them and see what their needs are and meet them where their need is, whether it's help with an unplanned pregnancy and they're considering abortion, or if they've already had an abortion. And then when they're ready to go into a group, or also the next room we're going to go into, we use for training, to train counselors at pregnancy centers and also women who want to be in a small group of no more than 6 women. We will go in the next room and I'll show you where we meet to do our post-abortion healing groups. God understands our prayers even when we can't find the words to say them. Sometimes after abortion, or even before, we do not know how to pray. We might feel like God has let us down when we realize we're in a pregnancy and that we did not plan, or we've gone through abortion, either we were forced to have abortion or we choose to, and we just feel like we don't know how to pray to God. And He understands and He hears. And I would like to invite everyone into this room. This is where we come, and this room is used for training. We can do education about abortion, post-abortion syndrome, which is the symptoms after an abortion. Train counselors. We're peer counselors. We can help counselors in this area to train their counselors specifically on the topic of, or the issue of, abortion. We can teach youth leaders, pastors, teachers, pregnancy center. Definitely we're going to do a lot of training with the local pregnancy center to train their counselors on not only counseling and knowing how to counsel someone who's considering an abortion, but also counseling someone who's already had an abortion, 1 or more abortions. And then close, near and dear to my heart is the group that I lead called Forgiven and Set Free, which we use this curriculum, a post-abortion Bible study for women, Forgiven and Set Free, by Linda Cochran. This is a 8-week Bible study guide, but we do it for 10 weeks. The first week is the introduction session. We do the study for 9 weeks. The last week we're getting prepared just to do our final conclusion. And it's a time of celebration because women are truly set free. God forgives our sin of abortion. However, there is a healing process that needs to take place to get us whole and set free from the bondage of abortion, to realize, as the ministry name says, God takes all of our tears and turns them into beautiful treasures.